simply because I'm going through a season of poverty does not mean that I'm poor.
Yeah.
I am very rich, right? The way how God sees us and the way how these people sees us is completely different.
Yeah.
And there's supposed to come a time in your life where you take a step back and want to see yourself the way God sees you.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Tech with Gen Z. I'm Taffy, and today I am here with
Siyabonga.
nice to have you here, Siyabonga. So today we're basically talking about like juggling being a tech student and also being a business owner, and of which you are both, right? So could you tell us like how you manage being a tech student and also having a business on the side?
Okay. So that basically started when I was in college, in Rustenburg.
Mm-hmm.
So after grade 9, I went straight to college. I didn't do your normal grade 10, 11, 12.
Mm-hmm.
Getting into college, I studied ICT level
Okay.
2, 3, and 4.
And what is that? If you don't mind me asking.
So it's basically like grade 10, 11, 12.
Okay.
Just that you get like certification for completing each.
Oh, and you get
Yeah.
like NQF levels at the end, I think, right?
It's NQF level 4, yeah.
Oh, okay.
In a way, it's a bit equivalent to metric, just
Mhm.
that we're doing something
Totally different.
totally different, yeah. But we've got your maths, your English, and life orientation.
Mm.
And then I was doing data communication, programming principles,
Okay.
multimedia basics, electronics,
Yeah.
system analyst and design.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
it was a lot. But I started volunteering at college. You know,
Mhm.
they really didn't have the best of IT infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
So I started volunteering, helping them with their printers,
Mm.
their website, their learner management system.
Mm.
And then when I completed, I got a job. The
And when
college,
was that?
this was in 2023.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so just to take you back, 2021, I was doing level 2.
Mm-hmm.
2022, I was doing level... 2021, level 2. 2023,
Level 3?
level 3. 2024, level 4.
Mm-hmm. Somewhere around
Somewhere
that,
around there,
yeah.
somewhere around there, right? But my last year, just before I graduated, I got hired by the same company that I was volunteering for. So the college had like an outsourced IT company.
Oh, wow.
So the IT company brought me through. I had a lot of clients. I saw how they were doing their business and so forth. And I decided to go with my own business, right?
Oh, wow.
But prior to that, there was a system that I had invented, which was in 2020. It got a lot of attraction from your Fidelity, your G4S,
Wow.
P-Sera, a lot of security companies. So whilst I was busy with my studies, I was also busy developing the project, right? And then when I completed in 2023, after I graduated, I then started working solemnly into the business.
Okay.
So with Omni Secure, yeah, the name of the company is Omni Secure.
All right.
We basically deal with your CCTV solutions, your fiber, Wi-Fi networking solutions. We also supply distribute cameras, your network products. Yeah, it's basically like an umbrella of a technology solution company.
Wow. Are you the
right?
CEO of that? Or like it's
Yes.
the company you're currently working under?
I am the sole director of
Oh,
that.
wow. That is amazing. That is amazing.
So how I've been able to manage all of that during... This was 2024, last year. So last year I had like 8 people in the company, 8 students, that I hired. I don't want to use the word hired, but they were basically working under me. So I
It's
was able
okay.
to,
If you hired, you hired. Like, come on, if you're the big boss, you are the big boss.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was able to like manage my schoolwork and other certifications and pursuing my studies, whilst
Wow.
they were also able to deal
Whilst
with other
having
things.
people
Yeah.
working under you. Okay.
So one thing that has worked for me throughout has just been, knowing how to delegate,
Mm-hmm.
teaching people the work so that, they can also teach others and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, even right now at the moment, I've got people all around, well, they're still studying in universities.
Yeah.
So if I get a job that requires my attention, but I have schoolwork,
Mm-hmm.
I would just,
Wow,
delegate it to
just find
someone.
someone to do it for you.
Exactly.
That is the really like also I feel like that's the really nice part about having something that's yours,
Yeah.
like your own business or something that you're working on or something that you have founded. Whenever you feel like you're too occupied, you can always have somebody do it for you
True.
and not having the stress of doing something for somebody else.
True.
So wow, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, in a nutshell.
Okay. So like there isn't times where you feel like, oh my gosh, like the pressure's getting too much, even like for work and at school. Because being in a boot camp,
Yeah.
it kind of like sometimes requires 100% of
Your
your
time.
energy, your time, your focus.
Yeah.
So aren't there times where you feel like, oh my gosh, like it's getting too much?
There are, and to be honest, I have actually experienced that prior to coming to Melsoft.
Oh wow.
But how I deal with that, at the moment I've got four guys that I'm working with. So we meet up like once, twice a week, during the course of a month, just to discuss everything prior, right?
Okay.
So we've got clients that we are working as the IT department. They have like day-to-day issues that you need to deal with, right? So we've set up certain automations as well that when a client has a specific issue, it just goes through the ticketing system and it's just dealt with as simple as that, right?
Yeah.
But I still have people that I'm working with. So when I feel like it's getting a bit tough on the academic side, I just kind of pull myself back, focus on that, but also making sure that whatever resources or any other help that those guys need to get the work done, they do have that.
Oh, okay. I see. It's like, okay, I have this to mainly focus on and I have that
Yeah.
on the end when I have that's already covered so I can
Yeah.
focus on this. Okay. All right. Do you feel like you being a tech student is very beneficial in terms of like how you learn? For example, in software engineering, you are doing software engineering, right?
Cybersecurity.
Oh, you're doing cybersecurity.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure how it is with cyber, but obviously, like being in a tech academia or school,
Yeah.
you kind of learn how to understand how to read analytics, how to like learn how to be strategy, like to have a strategic mind. I mean to say, sorry, you learn how to have a strategic mind. Do you feel like you being in a school and learning all of this helps with your business? So like maybe with analytics, how to deal with analytics, how to deal with just a lot of things.
In a sense, I would say yes. So the project that I just want to take you back to 2020, after I invented that security system, I have a background in mechatronics, right?
Okay.
So I've actually quite studied a lot of stuff that I'm doing right now.
Currently,
right?
okay, yeah.
So it doesn't really feel a bit heavy sometimes, but I would say I also learn new things. I'm just one person who loves learning, right?
Wow, yeah.
So I might know from A to C about cybersecurity, and I've been operating on A to C for the past couple of years. And then I get to MailSoft, they're like, no, there's actually C to Z. I'm like, oh, okay, let me learn what's
what's left of
of that, right? And then I take whatever concept that I would have learned and try to implement that back into the business and back into the people that I'm working with, to try and streamline how we're working, and also to render services from what I'm learning. So, yeah.
It's like learning never stops.
True. And you can monetize that as well, that knowledge as well.
Okay, hearing that your journey kind of started like way back in 2020, and that was like what, maybe after grade 9, after grade...
Yeah, that was...
somewhere there.
Yeah, somewhere
and
there.
during COVID times also.
During COVID times, yeah.
Was there a time where you felt like there is pressure of like comparison in a sense? So let's say others that are doing something different, you'd feel like there's pressure. Oh, these people are doing something totally different and they're succeeding, and like, I don't know, I'm stuck. Did you ever feel like there was a point in your life when you felt that way?
Yeah, I think that's something honestly everyone goes through. I did go through that. At a point it was as if I'm thinking about that almost on a daily, right? Because a lot of people around me could see that I'm progressing, being young, having a vision, having support and all of that, but I felt like I wasn't really doing enough, right?
Like you're in a bubble in a sense.
Yeah. And what was frustrating me was that when people are looking at me like that, this boy is destined for greatness. And I'm not seeing that greatness, So one thing that helped me was honestly having the right mentors, that would always fill my cup. Because I felt like I was just giving out, but
not
not really knowing where I'm going. Reading a lot of self-development books. There's a guy called Dr. Miles Munroe. I don't know if you know him.
No, never heard of him.
He's from a state called Bahamas, in US.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he passed away, I think in 2017 or 18. I don't remember per se, but his books have actually carried me through because, he makes you realize that we are all destined for different purposes, right? There's something that we came here on earth to accomplish, and it would be an error for you to go back to your maker,
without fulfilling
without fulfilling your purpose. And there's a quote that he used to like saying. It says the richest place in the world is a cemetery, right? And reason why he says this is because in the cemetery you find dreams that were never fulfilled, right? People like yourself,
so deep.
that that never allowed the world to see the passion, songs that were never written, doctors that could have brought
lives.
That's the richest place in the world, not Monaco, not all these places, the cemetery. And one
not
thing,
Dubai.
not Dubai, exactly, right? So he would always emphasize that make sure, you develop your craft to a point that people pay you for your time. There was this session he was talking about. I also love watching his videos, his sermons on YouTube. There was this part where he was talking about Les Brown. So he had a friend called Les Brown, right? And he tells Les Brown, like, yo, I've got a gig. These guys want me to come and speak. How much do you think I should charge them? And Les Brown asked him to say, how much do you think your time is worth? Right? Like, I was thinking of charging them $25,000 for the day. And then he asked the question, like, do you think you're worth $25,000 for a day? It's like, I charge $25,000 for an hour.
Yo, wow.
Like, okay. All right. And then there's also a passage where he says, the stage is only for the prepared people, right? People that have went through the process. The end product, we always envision the end product, but we don't really envision how the process of getting there looks like.
Would be.
You know, so one thing that has always motivated me throughout all the struggles, circumstances being against me and being for me, is that I know where I want to go to, right? And I try to do what I do on a daily from that standpoint, right? So it's always well and good to start whatever that you want to start from the end rather than from the beginning.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, in a way, it makes sense.
It makes sense, yeah?
But it can be confusing. But in this case, it makes a
It
lot
makes
of sense.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, do you feel like, I don't know, are you Christian?
Mhm.
All right. So do you feel like God plays a role in your business, your life, your daily life? If so, like how, and how do you navigate your faith through everything that you do?
That's a very good question. Eh? Okay. So with that, apart from all the books about self-development that I like reading, I like keeping my Bible very close to me as well, because you get to understand that a lot of the self-development books, they are honestly just a replica of the Bible. They just switch in certain words there and there, but you just look at them and you see the Bible, right? So with that, one thing that I've tried to honestly do, like it's like right now we're going into December. I would take my December, January time to like kind of distance myself away from a lot of things, from your internet, sometimes even my family.
Or like a solo trip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a week, 2, 3 weeks to try and see how did I perform the whole year, right? How was my spiritual life? How has my health been? The way I handle my relationships, the way I handle work, the way I handle my finance. And I just go back to the big man to say, yo,
Yeah. Well, good.
welcome, buff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which areas am I lacking in? It's also something that I try doing like almost on a weekly basis. Like today's Friday, Saturday, Sundays, I kind of devote myself to say, okay, how am I spending this week? How did I navigate business this week? I always try to like match, like draft a template from the Bible and implement that into my right. From your finances, how we are always supposed to be cognitive that other seasons that we are not prepared for are gonna come. You know how the Bible says that ants are something along the lines of how ants are more wise than humans, because during summer they prepare for winter, and then during winter they prepare for summer.
How ends?
Yes,
Oh, ends.
ants. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, yeah. Okay.
And we just live in jail for the sake of living.
Just,
Like
yeah.
tomorrow is tomorrow. We'll see. Um, it's well and good to understand that we don't actually have fate for our tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, right? That's why the Bible mentions that we need to live like every day as
Like it's
if,
the last day.
yeah, you need to make it count, right? But in all of that, you've also got the adversary, right? Who will want to distract you. And there's a line that I came across this week in the internet that says, a man without purpose will try to find pleasure to distract himself, right? And that's one thing that you get to see almost every single day.
Every day.
And it's something that I've also seen with my life. For some time, I grew up in church. This was back in 2021, 2022, 2023. Yeah, so all these 3 years I was staying in church, right? And that just made me see how people my age back then were living like. They had so much freedom. Like anything they want to do at whatever time, they can do that. And I couldn't do that. And I'm very grateful right now that I did not have, the leverage to do whatever that I wanted at any particular time, because time honestly waits for no man. Eh?
Actually, on that note,
Yeah.
it reminds me of, I'm not sure which part of the Bible this comes from, but basically it's like a sin in a sense to always think that you have tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
And to take advantage of God's forgiveness.
True.
Yeah. So I really understand where you're coming from when you
Yeah.
say that, in terms of like people are just living and they're just saying, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. That, and always asking God to show me my own shortcomings, my own downfalls. Because honestly, you are the biggest project that you can ever work on, right? We grew up in different environments, different backgrounds, got certain identities as to how the society saw us or our family saw us, and we started defining ourselves in that manner, right? Not understanding that the way how God sees us and the way how these people sees us is completely different.
Yeah.
And there's supposed to come a time in your life where you take a step back and want to see yourself the way God sees you, right? And believe you me, your low self-esteem, your anxiety, your depression or whatever, it doesn't have room as to how God sees you. But it has got a lot of room as to how people see you, right? Because they put certain standards, they put certain bars or whatever.
Peer pressure.
Yeah, right. And
yes, peer pressure still exists within adults.
True.
So yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very
People
true,
think
man.
peer pressure is only for LO, you in high school.
Your adolescent.
Yeah. But I feel like peer pressure in your 20s is actually like bigger than when you're still a kid. But
even with our parents, when you're still seeing that.
Yeah.
And you're like,
still see the
guys, you guys are old, just live your lives.
Yeah.
But they can't, because they've conformed themselves to the standards of the world. And the manual of life, the book of life, says we should not conform ourselves to the standards of the world. Yeah. This is a pretty interesting conversation.
It's actually very, very deep, and honestly, I am here for it. It. And actually, I wanna also like add in that we should also remember that people's backgrounds are very different.
True.
So just like you, I also grew up in church. So I had the privilege of like understanding so many things. For example, like why we do certain things, why we don't smoke, why we don't drink to get drunk, why we, do certain things. So for those that didn't really have that privilege, I wish to tell someone who really doesn't know that Matthew chapter 6 verse 25, it says that do not worry about tomorrow. Because it's also a thing about worriness. Some people end up not doing something that's destined for them simply because of pressure and overthinking and feeling like they just not some people just feel like, bro, like life is not for me, like God doesn't hear me. But it's also a thing for faith. Walk by faith and not by sight. And also God says, do not worry about tomorrow.
For tomorrow we'll worry about
don't worry about the clothes you're gonna wear tomorrow. Don't worry about what you're gonna eat. Just have faith, and many blessings will come to you. But also that does not mean that always take God's forgiveness for granted. To say, you know what, let me just do this. God will forgive me tomorrow. Or let me repent tomorrow. As of today, I wanna go party, or I wanna do this. I wanna go steal. I wanna go kill. I wanna murder. Nah, that is not your cue to like do everything. So like, what do you feel like you want to say to those people that don't really know how to navigate their faith through their everyday life, school life, businesses, and just life as a whole?
That's another good question. Okay, so to answer that, I would like to answer that first with a verse from, I think, the book of Jeremiah. I'm not too sure which chapter. But the one that says, I think it's Jeremiah 29 verse 11.
All right.
The one that says, for I know the plans that I have for you. plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a future and hope, right? And then in the same book, there's another one that says, I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb, right? All the days that are going to come, I know every single thing. And just taking that back to how God has plans for us to prosper us and not to harm us. You know, I think people that are currently in that mental state of mind, they didn't choose to just be born and then they're like, they didn't do that, right? It took time, a lot of psychological background, how they grew up, how they were taught about life, the morals and so forth. But I think one thing that I can tell someone out there is that try to understand and see how God sees you, right? Try to find yourself through Him.
But you know how maybe you were taking this journey in Christ, right? And let's say something happens.
Yeah.
You've done something that you feel like even God cannot forgive me.
Yeah.
Because there are certain times as Christians we're just like, wow, like we're at that point in our lives we're just like you know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to say how would God look at me if I feel like I don't even deserve forgiveness.
Yeah.
You know, so how do you see it in that type of lens?
Okay, in that type of lens, I would also like to answer that with a verse that says, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and He heals those that are crushed in spirit, right? It's normal for us as human beings to go through those emotions, but we are not supposed to stay in there, right? Because when we stay in that state of mind, our minds become idle, and an idle mind is the devil's playground, right?
Yes.
When you let yourself simmer in that position for a very long time, you start believing certain things that God never told you about them, right? And when you start believing that I'm a failure, that God can't forgive me, that I've sinned so much, God has never seen such big sin, He would honestly ask you the same question that He asked Adam when he decided to hide. It was who told you that you're naked? Whose report have you believed? Who's telling you all these things? Because I never said that to you. I said that you're a conqueror. I said you are
beautifully and
wonderfully made. I said you are made in my image.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's another verse that says, I think this is in the book of Psalms. It says, ye are gods, but ye shall die like mere men. And the reason why we are going to die like mere men is because we don't realize our position on earth. Right? We don't realize how great we are. Right? We want to use all of that greatness into vain. The devil is the only one, when you give him the ability to tell you things that you don't know about yourself, that can actually bring you down, take over. Thank you. And another thing, the things we proclaim as well, words are very powerful. There's a statement that Jesus made that He said, the words that I speak are not just words, but they are spirit and life, right? If I keep on saying that I'm a sinner, God can't forgive me, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you start saying that and you start living that, right? But when you change your trajectory around that and start speaking life, you will see life, right? Yes, I am going through these trials and tribulations, but they do not define who I am. Yeah. Simply because I'm going through a season of poverty does not mean that I'm poor.
Yeah.
I am very rich, right? Simply because I'm in an environment or I'm abused or whatever, that doesn't mean my kids are also going to be like that. Yeah. That doesn't mean I also need to give out the same energy. because that's not how God made us. Animals are made like that. A lion is born as a lion, dies as a lion,
And they
right?
just eat each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you
It's
are
a
born
cycle.
as a human being, a baby. You go back to your maker as a doctor.
Yeah.
You go back as a preacher. You go back as a teacher. You go back as an evangelist. You go back as, hey, you understand?
That's when I actually start to realize that many of the most successful people,
Yeah.
especially in the tech industry, do not have a really like the best background.
True.
For example, we have Mark Zuckerberg. He literally he didn't have much.
Yeah.
Let me just say he did not have much, but right now he's one of the biggest people out there.
Yeah.
And a majority of these people did not even finish college.
True.
Didn't even go to varsity.
True.
So that also tells us about how, like, number one, good our industry is already. Being in the tech industry, you don't really have to
have everything
sorted out in your life. You could be from something that is not so good and still make you could shake the earth with your greatness, gifted by God. So yeah, that is something to really, really think about. Hey,
True.
wow.
Just to add on to that.
Yeah.
So you see how we have all these people that are there, right? You mentioned something about Zaga there, could say that it didn't really have the best backgrounds, but look at the position that he's in he's at right now, right? Now, coming back to yourself as a student here at Melsoft or whichever institution, right? You want to take that person as a template to the kind of life that you want to live or the kind of impact that you want to have on the world, right?
Yeah.
And you take it from the end to the beginning to say, okay, this is how Mac conducts his day-to-day life, right? He's got, I don't know which position in Meta, if he's the founder of Meta or whatsoever, but he's got all these people that are working for him. He's got his, KPIs, his deadlines, his all of that. How is he doing that? Right? You learn about that. How does he conduct his relationships? You learn about that. Has he invested in his life? Has he bought shares in certain companies or whatsoever? You learn about that, right? And it gives you a clear picture, because one thing that God gave us is the ability to imagine, right? Imagination is very powerful. Having visions, right? Writing down our visions. You have someone like Mark. You're doing software engineering. He's also in that space. You have a very clear template as to how you can go about, your career or the purpose that you think God has destined for you in this earth, right? And whatever trials and tribulations that you come across, you always think and believe that if Mark was able to do it, then I can be able to do it as well. We have that ability and blessing to always maneuver around cul-de-sacs. We can never say this mountain is too big for me to cross over. And one thing I love about God as well is that he's very merciful. He would give you like a glimpse of the vision, show you how everything's going to be like in the end, but he's not going to show you the whole process. Because you might get scared. You're like, no. Someone is going to try to rip me off my idea.
Yeah.
It doesn't show you that. But in your day-to-day life, as you come in to study, as you're doing your assignments, as you're trying to excel in school, reaching out, networking with people, attending these networking events, putting out your ideas, teaching yourself how to code, even things that are outside of your school's curriculum, developing yourself. That also shows that you are in partnership with God. Because if he says that you're going to be the best and biggest software developer in the world, but you don't do that, you're basically disagreeing with him. Because as much as your Mark, your Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and everyone is out there, they also had to do their work. on a day-to-day basis, feeling like it, not feeling like it, feeling depressed, not feeling depressed, anxiety, not anxious, they still had to put in the work, right? And that's also something that the Bible pushes us to say, you need to do your part and let God do the rest.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is very, very interesting. Wow. I won't lie to you. My eyes have kind of been opened.
Yeah.
Especially that part where you said the most famous place or the richest place is the cemetery.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'll actually be thinking about that almost every day. And I'm going to be quoting that when I'm telling other people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really think this was a very, very insightful and like eye-opening conversation, don't you think?
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, wow, you guys stay curious, stay thinking. He might come back for a part 2. Are you gonna come back?
Definitely. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Looking forward to it. Don't forget to subscribe, comment down below, and see you in the next episode. Thank you.
Cheers.